The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 17th day of July, 2023. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, and Lindo's. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Audience, how was your weekend? You're back. It's Monday. Was it short? Are you happy to be back on the Daily Hour and engaging? Like, what's happening? I saw that it was pretty good weather. I know over the last couple months, everyone's complaining about rain, and this weekend it looks like everyone was out getting tan. So how was your weekend? Let us know how your weekend was here in South Florida, where I'm located. I don't know if any of you visit South Florida or have visited recently in the summertime, because I know a lot of Bermudians go to Orlando during the holidays, Christmas and the like. But South Florida during this kind of time of year, we're talking like Palm Beach, Broward County, and Miami-Dade, every afternoon in the summer, nonstop. What do you think happens? Rain and thunderstorms. So that's why I said a couple weeks ago, I wonder if Bermuda has a rainy season now because of the rain that's been happening. So I don't know. Good morning to you. Karen Simmons says, good morning, Jamal. Solo today. Happy Monday, TDH. Yeah, I want to be around those people today. Yeah, you know. I told them, oh, take the day off. Take the day off. I don't want to see none of you. That's a lie. They all ditched me. You all know how it is. They ditched me. They said, nope, not having it. Samcat Plays is starting trouble. She said, morning, Jamal. Is that red in your collar? Oh. No. So Samcat Plays. What in my collar, what happened is that the camera is doing something with like colors today. It's the lighting or something. And I was trying to fix it before we came on, and it didn't quite work. I don't think that worked. But anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. We're going to discuss the solutions to the Parish primary school situation in Bermuda. So going to play a little video that was going around about the Minister of Education, Diallo Rabin, last week. Just to give some context as to why some people are still irate about the situation. So really want to get some feeling from you, the audience, as to what your take is. And at the end of the day, this show exists because we want to discuss solutions, right? So what's the solution to the standoff between the government and the people of Bermuda? Also, folks, did you get the email? Did you get the email? An email went out last Friday afternoon, last Thursday afternoon about the restaurant crawl. We got more people who registered over the weekend, and again, space is limited, so we're more than halfway full. There are a few spots left, and I'll say this much: you can keep booking, but once we hit the target, we'll just have to respond and say we no longer have any space available. But to all those who are attending, this is what this show is about: getting us together, getting in our community, getting out and supporting our local restaurants. It's more than just us engaging on this show. So if you have never done anything with us, whether it be the meet and greet last year at Huckleberry or the KBB event earlier this year, this is your opportunity to get out, because Karen Simmons and Michelle White, they're not going to be around. So they're giving up their 2 slots to 1 or 2 of you. So make sure you check that email out and register ASAP. Once we hit that mark, unless somebody says they can't make it, then there's no hope for you to attend. All right, so folks, please don't forget to follow Media Maya and BCG Television on social media to stay up to date regarding our live COCMET Selection Night coverage. Proudly sponsored by HSBC as the title sponsor. Stay tuned to BCG TV social media platforms and Media Maya for updates, so you don't want to miss that. Also, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Guest in Sam Cat Place was not impressed with my response about the apparent red that she sees in my collar. And according to Karen Simmons, this is my second slip up. So folks, we're going to fix this. We will fix this because I don't understand what's happening with my camera making things look red. This is obviously yellow, and yellow looks red in my camera. So no, yellow is too far away. Orange. All right. But let's get into today's conversation. Let's jump right into it. So if you haven't been paying attention, there was this video that went around last week featuring the Minister of Education, Diallo Rabin. Did you all see it? Or should I play it? Like, did you see the video that went around about the minister? Basically, well, you know what? Let's just play it. This went around, and I believe it's Jasmine Patterson's voice, and the video is courtesy of CITV, I believe. So let's check this out. Let's see.
So is there any scenario where that decision could be reversed?
The decision was, and it's a legal binding decision, is that Somerset primary site would be the site to be redeveloped into a parish primary school. Absolutely not. There has been no contracts, there's been no agreements, and there has been no, not even verbal comments on we must use one location over another.
It's an outright lie. Both of them lies, you hear me? Outright lie.
Wow. I don't know what to say, you all. You know, I don't really get into the politics stuff, but anyway, what are your thoughts? I mean, when I look at something like that, I said it last week or the week before. And this, I love doing this show because I think you all are pretty intellectual. You're challenging, you're critical thinkers. But I'm not quite so sure that the majority of us are. And what I mean by that is last year, September, October, around that time, there was going to be a leadership election within the Bermuda Progressive Labour Party between the Honorable Premier and former Finance Minister David Barrett and Curtis Dickinson. And I said to you all, do not be surprised if the Premier announced that a deal for Fairmount Southampton has been reached. But you all didn't believe me. What happened leading up to that internal election? The Premier did just that. Then people from Fairmount Southampton came out and pretty much denied that an agreement had been reached. Right? I said last week that this education system seems familiar. It seems as if the government has said, let's create a problem, let's pick a fight with the people, and then we fall back and we do what the people want so that we can say we're a listening government. This seems so easy to see through. But for some reason, I don't think we see through it. And like clockwork, people will go back to the polls and vote them in. And then we'll be right back here after another election cycle calling them liars. Folks, with all that's going on, what's the solution to the parish primary school? What do you think? If you can't trust the government, do you think that they will cave and just keep a West End open, and let's not forget the East End situation, right? Closing the schools and asking people to go to Whitney until one of the schools is ready. Like it's a lot going on. Let's well, Tanya Cheeseman, I will be in New Jersey with you on, well, not with you, let me not start rumors on the show, but I'll be in New Jersey as well on Friday. So hope you enjoy New Jersey, worst state I've lived in, by the way. Marquita Lee says, wow. Sam Cat Play says, well, here we go again, back to the circus. And Shayna Smith says, moral of the story, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory. Indeed, indeed. So let's go through some of the comments on our Instagram stories, right? We got some responses on our Instagram stories as to what people were saying. So what's the solution to the Parish primary school situation? Well, someone says, well, this question was, what's the solution to the West End primary school situation? Someone said, keep it open. Keep it open. All right, we'll come back to that. Another person says, supporters rally together, appeal for donations, etc., to get the facilities up to standard, right? Because one of the things was, in comparison, score-wise, it was scored lower than Somerset primary. Another person says the political thing would be to listen to the people. Let's stop on this real quickly, the political thing. Well, yeah, because if you believe in the scores that you were given as government, right? And you stick to your guns, right? You stick to your guns. And we've talked about democracy before, folks. I'm not quite sure I agree or completely understand democracy, right? But what I will say is Bermuda doesn't have a democracy. We don't. In my opinion, the final decisions or sign off has to be granted by the governor. That's not an elected position. And then on behalf of the king's representatives, we don't vote for our leader. We vote for the political party, right? We have some form of democracy, but it's not total. So this person says the political thing would be to listen to the people. The truth is, the majority of the people don't always know what's in their best interest, especially when they're used to comfort. That's just the reality of it. Another person says, listen to the residents / voters and keep it open. But folks, and again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. What if keeping it open is a hazard to the future students, current and future students? Now, I'm pretty sure the West End community, they've done their research, they've done, their part to share why it should remain open more than just being a historical landmark in the Black community up the West End. But again, keeping it open for the sake of people wanting to keep it open, is that why we're here? Someone says keep the name. The minister tried that. What's that Obama said? It's like putting lipstick on a pig is still a pig. No. You cannot just keep the name. It's the institution, it's the building, it's the, everything. You can't just say we're going to name Somerset primary. I mean, I don't want to give crazy analogies, but it's like Marilyn Manson changing his name to Donald Trump. Still Marilyn Manson, still guilty of what it, So if Somerset Primary was a school that traditionally didn't allow Black students and has this history, changing the name to West End is not going to rid it of that. Now, there are situations where there was a theater in Bermuda that once didn't allow Black people, and they had this theater boycott, and now, it's, been purchased and new ownership, and it's changed. Like, things like that can happen. But I'm not quite sure keep the name is going to satisfy the people in the West End. Another person says to the question, what's the solution to the West End primary school situation? Turn it to a private school. That way it won't be a burden to the public purse. That's interesting to me. Now, I don't think they have a, like St. George's Prep or Whitney Institute, I don't believe they have a board of governors where they can go private. I think Work Academy, if I'm not mistaken, let me know audience, was the last to go that route when the school system changed in 1997. So, But again, audience, what's your solution to the Parish primary school situation? It obviously seems that the people, mainly in the West End, have lost trust in the government that they're going to do what's in the best interest. They believe that a deal's already been signed. The minister has said in his latest video, a deal hasn't been signed. Well, they've shared a video saying that he said something different, very different in another video. But what are your thoughts? What do you believe the solution to the Parish primary school situation is? I honestly think with all of this, we've lost sight of something. I think we've lost sight that the whole entire point of schools is to educate our children. And I'm not saying that either side is responsible for this, but I do understand those who have said, well, the curriculum should be priority. Now, as far as that last comment, turning it private, how would that work? I don't understand how it would work without a board of governors. Like, are you saying that we should, the people of the West End community should put their money together and create a board of trustees and take the school from the government, make it private, and help it run and function on its own? Like, how would that work? What are your thoughts, though, audience? I've said this on the show, and this is not to be disrespectful to anyone fighting for a parish primary school, but I'm personally just not attached to any academic institution. I went to Prospect Primary School. I then went to Northland Secondary before going to Cedar Bridge for 1 year. I could care less whether those institutions stood or left. I just don't have any attachment. However, that doesn't mean that I don't understand someone else's fight. Like, I appreciate and understand what the people in West End are fighting for. And I'll tell you why. I said just last week, we were talking about Mary Prince Day. I didn't know about Mary Prince until I was an adult. So I believe that it is important, it's imperative on us to keep our history alive so that young people have an understanding and an idea of what these things meant for the progress of their family, their friends, and their community. So I get the historical aspect. I do. But there has to be a solution. There has to be a way forward. And while we're digging for that solution for the parish primary school situation, I don't think we can allow politics to get in the way of education for our young people. And I feel like that's what's happening. There has to be a better way. And I think both sides should give each other dates. Like, we would love a resolution by this date, August 15th, 2023. It's hard to believe there's adults in the room, right? Elephant 999 says whole education system needs to change. Give beyond the name. The state of the world has proven that what is taught in school is not working. It all starts from education, and it's flawed. I agree with everything Elephant 999 said. I've been said that. The education system has not worked. I'm always fascinated when people say, oh, we need to go back to when it was Stay Nines and you went to Berkeley or Warwick Academy and all that stuff. It didn't work then. Our education system was not designed for it to work for a certain sector or group. So no, I don't disagree. I believe schooling right up through college is meant to train us, not educate us. That's my personal opinion. So I don't disagree with anything you said. I think that we do need to look at the system that many of us believed is flawed. Is this the way to go? The parish primary and what they call this special schools where you're focused on STEM and maybe the arts and so on. Is this the way to go? Or are we still ignoring the elephant in the room? Are we still ignoring Afrocentric education? Is it still European-based education? Is it education that's going to create more entrepreneurs or more employees? Are we going to continue training young people or educating young people? There are a lot of questions about the education system. But for this purpose and today, What is your solution? Audience, let us know. I mean, you're quiet today. These. I don't have any children in the system. You all do. What's the solution? And Elephant 999 says it goes beyond the name. I absolutely do agree it goes beyond the name. I mean, we see how easy they change names to schools, put it in the name of some person, buildings as well. It does. We have a problem. And it's not just a political one. It's a community one. It's a big one. There's too many elephants in the room that we don't want to address when it comes to education. The solution, easy solution, is for more of us to listen to the other side. We're not doing a good job of that. We're not doing a good job of listening to the other side. What we are doing is pushing our perspective, and only our perspective, our view, our opinion, our way of thinking onto the other. If the government truly believes that this parish primary school, the plan that they have is the way to go, and they can show you why, then you have to be open to accepting it. But if you believe you've brought some counterpoints to show that this is not the way we should go, if you believe that this is not the way and you can actually prove that there's a better way, then yeah, they should listen to you as well. They should listen to you as well. Communication is not a one-way street. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, understanding that money does not grow on trees, when you go private, you can make decision what is best for the students. He also says, far too long, education has been a political football, and generations of children are being affected. We see what happens when things become political footballs. We've seen it with our tourism product. And education has always been there. It doesn't work out for the people. And honestly, it doesn't really work out for the politicians either. Interesting conversation, folks. Keep it coming. Let us know what's the solution to the parish primary school situation. Let us know. Elephant 999 says, I'm curious if real solutions for education and all issues faced in Bermuda are given. Will Bermudians be open to change based on their mindset? Well, I say on this show often that a lot of the change that's required in our community is going to take a cultural shift in our mindset. And I'm not quite sure many of us actually are ready for that, because doing that's we're gonna have to be a bit uncomfortable. We're gonna have to be a bit uncomfortable. And we're very, very, very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Let's bring Maya Palacio in for the extended news break. But keep it coming. And again, you know, we played the video for you earlier with the minister. And let us know, like, how does it make you feel? And I'll play it one more time. Again, it's from CITV, I believe, the original video, and Jasmine Patterson asking a question. How does this make you feel? Does it make you feel like you can trust them with education?
So is there any scenario where that decision could be reversed?
The decision was, and it's a legal binding decision, is that Somerset primary site would be the site to be redeveloped into a parish primary school.
Absolutely not. There has been no contracts, there's been no agreements, and there has been no, not even verbal comments on we must use one location over another.
It's an outright lie. Both of them lies, you hear me? Outright lie.
I think that's Pinocchio that came up earlier. That was actually quite funny. But how does that video make you feel about everything? Like, how does it make you feel? Do you believe you can trust the government? Let's bring Maya Palacio in for the news break. Not Pinocchio.
Good morning, good morning.
Maya, was that Pinocchio?
I believe it was.
That was actually quite funny. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, I'm not trying to lighten a serious situation, but you all are very creative with these videos. You really are. You're very creative with these videos. But Maya, you came through the current system, whatnot. But having covered this, obviously you've interviewed a lot of people at some of these town halls that they've had. When you hear both sides, and obviously tempers are high, like, you know, emotions are high at these events. Well, are both parties listening to one another, you feel?
Both parties?
Yeah, like the politicians and the people, like, are they listening, or is it just straight listen to me?
Okay, so from what I've observed, and I've literally been following this whole transition of the schools before PLP even the gotten to being our government currently. I remember actually going to town hall meetings where Diallo Obaid wasn't even minister yet or anything. We were still deciding who was going to be our next party leaders. I mean, not party leaders, but party put in place, PLP or OBA really was the top ones. And I remember covering the story about how they wanted to take away middle schools and just the conversation on that very first night. And I think it was probably 2017. And I remember this town hall and it was packed full of people. I believe it was at Elliott Primary or Prospect. Anyway, the school that's in Paget. I'm sorry, Devonshire. Apologies. And I remember being in there, and there was just like it was packed. And at this point, a lot of people in the audience were just wondering, like, what do you know, basically? How are you planning to do this? What is the purpose? Like, how do you know that middle schools didn't work out? Just asking a lot of questions that at the time, you know, couldn't be answered. And now today, still asking kind of the same questions. How do we know this is going to work? What is the plan overall, transitions, so on and so forth? People need a timeline. People want to know how things are going to manage for their children. A lot of teachers are in attendance as well, because obviously that has to do with their jobs. It's still a lot of question marks in the air. I've obviously spoken to a lot of teachers in my family, and it's just like not really knowing where they're going to be placed next. That's the biggest question there. And then like how the transition will happen timeline wise, still waiting on to hear that. When the minister did say that was going to be out when I had interviewed him possibly 3-4 months ago now about a specific timeline being put out. And we're still waiting that to happen. And now with everything going on with the schools and, you know, trying to save certain schools and also them trying to make these decisions, it's the biggest issue right now is that the people definitely feel there's no transparency from the government. There's no transparency from the minister or even any willingness to discuss with them, to give them some statistics, to just let them be involved in all the decisions that they're making. There is that obvious disconnect, which is why multiple different groups are starting to form so that we can have to basically fight to get these statistics and fight to be a part of these decisions, which shouldn't be what's happening right now, but that's what's going on in the island. People are fighting with the government to get the government to talk to them. Like the fact that it took so many X amount of days, weeks, months for the recent town hall about West End. How long have we been talking about West End? Yeah. How long have they been fighting and asking for this? It's honestly, it shows a level to the community. What we see is that it feels disrespectful, and even though the government is making it their way to have those conversations, it's for the people it's taking too long. For the people, this should have been done earlier. For the people, it's what's going on. But I can also confirm on the side of me going to any education reform conversations that I have been in rooms where everyone on the board, 8-9 people were down at the front and maybe 10 people in the audience. Like, you know, there's been times too when the community did not show up for these discussions early on. And now that things have been put out, it is, you know, things are changed.
And that's important to note. And folks, and this is why, like, even this morning we're having a discussion. You know, we can't complain once the decision's made if we're not showing up, if we're not speaking up, if we're not taking our place. It's easy once the decision's been made. It's almost like, you know, you go to an institution and they tell you to sign all these documents. You haven't read the documents, but you still sign off. And then once you see, like, you go to them about, oh, well, such and such, and they're like, well, you signed this document. Folks, you've got to be involved from day one.
And
You
I
cannot show up once the decision's made. Sorry.
That's okay. I wish I could find it fast enough for you because I remember doing something about the schools, and Instagram isn't really good on the years, but it was, oh yeah, so 2021, March 4th of 2021, I did a tally on Media Maya about the schools that they had selected,
Mhm.
the performers that they're going to keep. And I can say from, find the West End, oh, West End, yes, Hamilton, St. George's.
Interesting.
I'm trying to find, but I know I voted and asked people like, which one do you prefer? Are
Mhm.
you the agreement on it? Anyway,
Mhm.
if I can find it before the end of the show, I'll let you know. But yeah, it was talk about it even back then, 2021, that they had already selected those parish primaries.
Interesting. And Karen Simmons says, in regards to the video, quote, people tell you who they are. We should believe them the first time, end quote. A decision has been made. What is being said now is, what's that word? Placating, whatever. And hearing but not listening. Well, here's the thing. I said this, last month. I went back in Maya's Twitter, which you all can do as well, and found something. I don't even remember what the video was, but it was something that was said probably a year or something ago. And I was just like, interesting. This is not what's being said today. I'm just doing a comparison. Folks, with the internet nowadays, everything's so much more accessible, right? You can literally go back on your own and find things. What I find unfortunate is that you have, elders literally calling our political leaders liars. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm simply saying that in all of this, the children, in my opinion, are not front and center. Sidney says, Maya, where can you find information on when town hall meetings are happening, other meetings recorded and or archived for those who can't attend but want firsthand information? Do you know anything on that?
I know that Burn News does a good job of hashtags. So maybe if you hashtag town hall or hashtag schools on Burn News website, they will probably have them up because they tend to be there. In terms of when they're going to happen, that's a little harder to get notice of. Sometimes I'll receive those press releases, but again, the one that happened on the 11th, that was something that was mentioned. I said it on the show, so I would put that on me to follow up again and let you guys know when it's going to happen. But I remember mentioning on the show that it will happen this day. They just hadn't had a location yet, and then they ended up going to West End. But town hall meetings, I would also say one of the best connections to have is a teacher. A friend of, if you have friends with a teacher, teachers tend to know these things, obviously, because most of them will be with them. So if you could be friend of a teacher or know someone who is a teacher, which mostly all of us do, ask them to tell you when the next one's going to come up so you can be there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, that would help. And thank you for that question, Sydney. Hopefully we can get more people out and engaged in the process before decisions are made. But again, let's hope that someone in government was tuned in and we can get to a resolution where all parties may not be happy, but they may not all be angry or mad. We're not all gonna get everything that we want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what is it's called compromise.
Yeah. No, most of the people are asking just to be a part of the conversation.
Correct.
Yes. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. This is the Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Devastating news to start out your morning, and I apologize for it. But early on, a male seen floating in the waters of North Shore, Devonshire, in the area of Empire Grocery was unfortunately pronounced dead. This happened around 6:40 p.m. on Saturday, July 15th, with police who responded to a report of a male seen floating in the waters. 3 officers attended the water to retrieve the man and immediately commenced life-saving efforts. EMTs arrived a short time later and also continue life-saving efforts while transporting the man to King Edward Memorial Hospital. Unfortunately, like stated, he was later pronounced dead. An investigation surrounding the circumstances of the man's death has commenced, and the police are asking anyone who may have been in the area at the time and seen a man near or in the water to contact the police on 211 or 295-0011. No more information will be given until the next of kin has been notified.
Very sad news, and I know that was a busy area on Saturday as well. As we had the anniversary for North Shore Medical and Aesthetic Center. So, that's right across from Empire Grocery. So that would be the dock down there, Sandy's, whatever you call it. But sincerest condolences to the family, friends of the individual. Hopefully there was no foul play, just unfortunate event.
Yeah. And again, same on that same day, Saturday, July 15th at around 12:10 a.m. So quite early in the morning, police received a report of a large disturbance on Somerset Road, Sands, near Cambridge Bridge. On police arrival at the scene, it was ascertained that at least 10 individuals were involved in a fight, resulting in 3 men being treated at the hospital for what is suspected to be stab wounds. After receiving medical care, the 3 men were later discharged from the hospital. However, police are appealing if anyone was in the area at the time. Now they say again, it was 10 individuals around that space, so somebody does know something. To please contact Sergeant Odessa Phillip at 717-2193.
Wow, violence. Do better. Let's do better. Let's do better. I don't need to know what it was about, but let's do better.
Now, leading in, actually, before I move on to the next report, police also did mention early this morning, they posted that they are also doing laser speed checks throughout this morning, and they've already been doing it for an hour, have given out 20 tickets already so far this morning, and one person was going as high as 80 km per hour. And the main reason was, I'm going to be late for work. So slow down, Bermuda. Police are out at the moment right now, but just slow down for your own safety, regardless if you're going to be late for work. Just be late. Just be late.
Here's the thing, but the police are letting you know, right, where they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't say exactly where they were, but they just say laser checks will be, right now they're happening, and they're going to be happening throughout the entire day. Already started for about an hour and a half now. So yeah.
Okay. Slow down, folks.
Slow down. Meanwhile, on Friday, the 14th of July, a 3-vehicle collision was reported on North Shore Road in Hamilton Parish near Panorama Drive. Apparently, a motorcycle, minibus, and a car were involved. The rider of the motorcycle was understood to have sustained a leg injury and was transported to the hospital for treatment. The male motorcyclist continues to receive medical treatment at the last update from the place at the hospital, and his leg injury, thankfully, is not considered life-threatening. But if anyone has seen the incident or knows anything, please contact 211. And
news, man, on a and that's expected on Mondays. Mondays, I always tell people, it's a lot that goes on weekends, but we gotta do better.
We have to. Last weekend, though, I believe I didn't have to report much of anything like this. We did much better last weekend, Bermuda, but like this weekend has been quite a lot. You may have also heard about the 54-year-old female visitor from the United States who was riding a livery cycle. This happened on July 9th, and she was attended to the hospital while police confirmed that she was actually released from the hospital now. So she has been discharged.
Okay, good news. Good news.
Yes, some good news there. And closing out a bit of our news, so we all know that about the passing of Martha this month, and the Honorable Dr. Europe Brown actually made a statement about her passing. He says, "I am shocked to hear of Ms. Diswell's death. I had the pleasure of meeting and working with her over the years. She was focused on her goal of helping those who needed a hand up. She did it through perseverance and grace. Her impact to the lives of Bermuda ranges into the thousands and is a matter of public record. May she rest in peace."
Indeed.
Yeah. Also giving his condolences was the Honorable Premier David Barrett. He said in his statement that Martha was passionate about making a difference in our community, from her tireless work with the Family Center to her relentless work of addressing the challenges of gang violence and antisocial behavior in our neighborhoods. Martha made it her mission to work across all sectors to seek solutions that better Bermuda. She always believed that more could be done to give those continued in struggle hope. Martha challenged premiers, ministers, parliamentarians, policymakers, and every Bermudian to have more compassion for those who are suffering. She was the greatest impact, and that will be her greatest legacy. Yeah.
Condolences to her family. After the news break, we're going to come back because obviously people had issues with our news reporter recently, and we're going to talk about that. Anything in sports today? Yeah, so I did want to play a quick video that I have of Miss Dismont, that I got the opportunity to speak with her in February 2022 when she was honored at Hamilton Princess Beach Club for the Black History Month celebration. And it does fall on the theme of education, as we were talking about, but I was so grateful to have this conversation with her. And again, biggest condolences to her family, especially her daughter.
Once upon a time it was said, knowledge is so much that these days you should be not trying to, pour information into a child's head. You should be teaching them to learn, simply that. So that whatever information is out there, they're learning it. But you can only do that when you're in relationship with children, when you have the freedom to adjust to Johnny versus Mary, when the system above is allowing you to be innovative and creative and meeting the needs of those children. So I think the relationship between the ministry and their staff is one of the first things that has to change.
Right now, it doesn't look like the community union of teachers has much faith in the education.
Well, they flip-flopped enough times that who would? You know, it's like what you're suggesting now. I think there was some of that suggested 30 years ago. You can't keep doing this. What is the answer, the true answer? And it's, you know, you have form and substance. The substance is the true answer. Form could take any form depending, but what is the substance that you're always trying to do? Teach children to learn, be in a relationship with them, respect that they have diverse needs, and then you find a way that the system adapts to that. I just don't think we found that yet.
Wow. I mean, those words, timeless at this point, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yes. Closing out for the news report, I think we all know that our women's national football team has won gold at the Island Games, so congratulations to them. I had the opportunity to talk to Coach Nikita Robinson about, you know, just her willingness of being a coach and her lifestyle and what it takes. So here's a quick clip of it. You can watch the full interview on media-maya.com.
My question was about how did you feel about how media represents against women in sports versus the men in sports, in Bermuda specifically?
I feel like that we've had to chase them more than them coming looking for us. Like, we have it for you. We don't have closed sessions. You can come and watch the session. You can take pictures. You can do whatever you want. We don't shut anybody out from doing that. And I think that there is more. In the past, I see the shift that's happening now. But in the past, there has been more attention on the males, not even the men, because the women could be having a tournament and the under 15 boys could be having a tournament, and the highlight would be the under 15 boys. So, you know, I tell people all the time that guys need a crowd to play. Girls just want to play. If you're doing well, people will see it. If something's good, they will see it. You don't have to put it out there. You know, it's a life lesson even today. Like, I don't have to brag. You don't have to brag about what you have or what you're doing. Just show it. So, yeah, that was a pretty good lesson for me. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for bringing that up. Thanks, appreciate you for that. Because there were certain attributes that they needed that they just couldn't have. So, you know, I tell my players a lot that what you have, what you don't have, I can coach that. But if you don't have heart, if you don't grind, if you're not got grit, like I can't teach that. I can tell you that I need you to run 100 meters, but I cannot run it for you.
So what's the shift we have to make in the schools?
The shift we have to make is first of all, remove the entitlement. We have to help our students understand that you have to work for it. It's not just going to be given. And we also have to help them understand that when it's tough, when you're uncomfortable, don't quit. Even when my time is up, I want to be known as a great mom, not a great coach. That's, you know, and they say, I want them to say, you know, she was a great mom because of the memories, because of the things I am making sure that my children have. And so far, it's amazing. You know, I hear a lot about how good my sons are, how sweet they are. And I always tell them, you know, we're not all going to be lawyers and scientists, and we may not make a lot of money, but I want you to be good people. Because people will remember good people over rich people every day of the week. So that is a joy. I mean, they are my everything.
Yeah, Cousin Kita. Yeah, I'm claiming. I keep telling you, I'm claiming it. But she said something that stood out to me. A lot of things, but I want to go back to what she said about the boys need a crowd and girls just want to play. You know, when you love sport, you just love sport. It doesn't really matter the gender. Like, I mean, I think let's use Serena Williams, right? That's who got me into watching tennis regularly. It didn't matter that she was a woman. It mattered that she was good and I was interested in supporting her. I shouldn't say Serena. It was Venus, actually, not Serena. Venus was first. So I'm proud of what Nikita's doing. I'd love to see more attention given to our latest. and when I say attention, I mean funding, not just people at the games, but it starts with funding and interest of the community. So props to her, and congratulations again. And I don't know if you mentioned this already, but even Ebony Burgess out there doing her thing in golf, right? She just another goal, another woman doing things, and she's an athlete. She plays many sports. So the women are doing it. We've had the women hockey team, the footballers. I mean, Ebony recently, we're doing it, and they deserve props.
Our swimmers as well.
Yeah,
they've been doing very well.
Yeah. So, how's the weather looking, Maya?
Weather's looking like a mix of sun and clouds. Few showers as well later on in the day, and increasing in some winds too. And we got a high of 86 degrees Fahrenheit today.
All right. Well, days of the year. Today is World Emoji Day. World Emoji Day. So emojis have been used since the beginning of the internet to transmit emotion in the written medium. As internet technology advanced, so did the use of the emoji, with previously pure text bits, really art turning into full-fledged animated faces and symbols. We've all used them, and we're excited for the future of them. World Emoji Day celebrates the history of the emotional expressions and encourages you to be exceptionally emotive. After all, it's always nice to let someone know you're feeling when you write, how you're feeling when you write, isn't it? So what's your favorite emoji, Maya?
My favorite emoji is probably the eyes, to be honest. I always put like the double eyes next to each other. If someone says something like what's going on? That's what I probably use constantly.
Okay. Yeah, what's your favorite emoji, audience? Let us know what your favorite emoji is. My favorite emoji is actually the black heart. And a lot of people wonder why I always use the black heart to love stuff and like stuff. The truth is, as Malcolm X said, black's always looked at as a bad thing, right? And white is always looked at as pure. Think of a wedding, a white dress. Think of a funeral, black, right? So I want us to embrace blackness. And that's why I actually use the black heart, so that we can understand that blackness isn't a bad thing. It's not a sad thing. But blackness is love. So that's my favorite emoji.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Maya, thank you so much. So we're going to ask something again to do with the passing of Miss Dismont, Martha Dismont. Again, condolences to her family, friends, loved one, and the community. But I want to just ask, and we'll discuss it more in subsequent episodes. A lot of people had issues with Trevor Lindsay at TNN last week. And I actually put a tweet up as well. But I just want the audience, if you're not familiar, well, Trevor Lindsay broke the story that Ms. Dismont had passed. And, he was asked based on what social media readings by someone, an account that was deemed to be his daughter. I'm sorry, her daughter, Ms. Dismont's daughter, to remove the post, and apparently he refused to do so. According to what was shared, was that she didn't ask, she told him to, and he didn't remove it. So basically, just want to ask you, the audience, what do you think Trevor Lindsay, TNN, did wrong? That's what we want to ask you. Maya, we'll see you tomorrow.
You'll see me tomorrow.
All right, Maya Palacio, folks. Going to take a quick break, come back, and we'll discuss that before doing a daily play as well. And we'll get to the question first, and then we'll do the daily play.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's next.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah,
Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
Hey, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamel Hartman, and it is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to improve our community. Also, registered today, again, Karen Simmons and Michelle White have been so nice to allow you to have their spots for the restaurant crawl. We are over halfway there in terms of attendance, and we will not be able to allow anyone else on should we reach that limit. That means that, you know, there's buses involved, there's restaurants involved. We can't just have every and anybody standing up on a bus for your safety. So keep that in mind if you're interested in attending a fun event that involves food. And I know we love Bermudian food. But before we went to break, we asked about Trevor Lindsay. What do you all think that TNN did wrong? What did TNN do so wrong that you believe people were up in arms about? He broke the story, and a lot of people had opinions on Trevor at the time. People were not happy with him. And, you know, I'm going to just find my tweet because I actually tweeted myself. And I'll tell you what I said, but I want people to understand my comment. What I said regarding TNN, I said, disappointed. Just because it's normal in some places doesn't mean it's okay in all. Know your market, know your place. Show empathy. It's the least we can do in such a small community. Now, it seemed many people were upset because next of kin had not been notified. If you notice when the police announce a death on the roads, or you know, any death that the police are involved in, they will say, as Maya did this morning, involving the person who was found unresponsive on North Shore, in the waters off North Shore in Devonshire, that no further information will be provided until next of kin has been notified. Teray Toll says, regardless of the media ethics, as a human, if a person, in brackets, who is seriously grieving in this case, in brackets, tells you that they are uncomfortable with something, I don't like that you ignore it. Okay. So here's the thing with what Teray said. That's where I'm at with it. Now, as I stated to someone, you know, someone responded to my tweet saying this happens nowhere in the world. That's just BS. That's not true. And we in Bermuda have to stop acting like what we believe is the truth, right? I'm not putting any Bermudian on the same pedestal as Kobe Bryant. But when Kobe Bryant was involved in that helicopter crash, TMZ was out there and notified the public so quickly, you were just afraid, like, no, wait, hope it's not true. So this happens in other places all the time. What I'm simply saying is, know our market, know our environment, know our people, know our demographic, right? We can't do that. No. Let's say, okay, we're fine with the initial story, right? Let's say we're okay with the initial story by TNN. Which again, you know, there are a lot of people that may be okay with it, and that's fine, because I've said it before, I value what Trevor does. He's a reporter that brings you stuff that many of us would not have in many other circumstances, right? He's did a service to the community by bringing us the services, the memorials, and the funerals, right? He's done a service to the community, right? And I'm not one to critique or criticize other people in this space. But if I could say something brother to Trevor, and I'll say it publicly, once someone asks you to remove something because they're not comfortable with it and they're grieving in a small community like that, probably should, you know, respectfully adhere. That's the thing that I think rubbed me. I think once the relative, once the loved one told you they had an issue with it, you probably should have said, you know what? as a matter of decency, let me just remove it. But as far as him posting the original story, people have said this is a person that was very notable in the community, well known. This is bound to happen. Now, are there some standards that we can adhere to? Probably, maybe. But as far as that goes, I think that as long as we don't have any legislation or policies, that should be up to the individual organization or reporter. I'm not going to sit here and criticize Trevor on that. My issue was, at the end of the day, once the relative was uncomfortable or unhappy, we've got to do better in the response. All right. And Nicole Walker says, as I said on his post, being first is not a win in this case. And when the next of kin is practically begging you to remove your post and contact them should you oblige them, there was no respect or empathy. So I think we're on the same page, Nicole. I think we're on the same page. And again, I have a lot of respect for what Trevor's doing. I would send him that. This is why I'm saying this publicly. This is not me talking behind his back or, taking a dig at him. He is giving a public service that even when you're mad at him, you've got to admit he's actually doing this, the community a service that we didn't know we needed. Nicole Walker says, and we had taken sufficient time, he would have written a better, more deserving article instead of half-assing it. So, yeah, she says, and had he taken sufficient time, he would have written a better, more deserving article instead of half-assing. Folks, we're going to take our last break. We're going to come back with the news break. And when we come back with, the news break, we're going to come back with the Daily Play. If someone gets this answer right, you're going to get the first 2023 Cup Match Towel. You will get the first 2023 Cup Match Towel. Stick with us to see if you will be today's winner.
If you haven't been to ER Fisheries in a while, it's time to hop in the car, drive east, and come check out what we have to offer. ER Fisheries and Foods is a Bermuda-based food company that sells a variety of food products to local customers. We are of course known for high-quality food items, including specialty meats and seafood, but we offer so much more. We have evolved from a small community-driven ordering window to a modern freezer front with easily accessible products. Our newly revamped store offers customers a top-tier shopping experience, and we also offer delivery. Regardless of your preferences or diet, we have something for everyone, including chicken, many varieties of seafood, pork, lamb, beef, plant-based items, fruit and veggies, bread, dairy, and grocery items. So come check us out for your specialty grocery needs. ER Fisheries is open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. at 134 Marginal Wharf, Southside St. David's.
All right. Folks, if you appreciated today's discussion, news break, conversation, please give us a thumbs up, love, like, whatever platform you're tuned in on. It goes a long way. Again, love, like, give us some love. Again, restaurant crawls coming up. You want to be a part of that. Stay tuned for the Cup Match Selection Night coverage brought to you by HSBC, title sponsor. It's going to be some fun. Juggling Jason will be in the building. We'll have two former Cup Match players joining us as well. We'll have Maya at the grounds of St. George's, looks like Sherry, and Sancha at the grounds of Somerset in studio. Again, Larry, myself, Juggling Jason, some Cup Match players. So it's going to be a fun, engaging night. A lot of opportunities to win some prizes. So you don't want to miss that. Going down Saturday, July 29th. Thanks again to the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on the daily hour, on a daily basis. Again, if you appreciated today's conversations, discussions, and news break, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and make sure you share these conversations with your friends, your family, and community. It's time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Again, the Cup Match edition is in stores. For more information, you can email contact at bermudatrivia.com. All right, it's Cup Match Trivia, folks. You ready? Here we go. Timer set. Who has the most catches by a fielder in Cup Match history? close, so close, so close, so close, so close. Charlie Marshall has the second most. Second most. He did have the most until he was passed by, should we give no, it's not Sluggo. Laverne Tucker said Gennaro first, but she spelled it wrong. Should we give it to our audience? Marcia Robin Patrice Bradshaw also said Gennaro, as did Nicole Walker, but Laverne Tucker showed up first on my screen. She didn't spell it right, but should she get it? Should she get Gennaro? Yes, folks? Yes or no? Should we give it to Laverne Tucker? Yes or no? Yes or no? She didn't spell it right. Because this is not Wheel of Fortune. You have to say it right, everything. You know, you can't just spell it out. You have to actually say it. Should we give it to her? Sheldon Fox says yes. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says yes. Yes, give it to her. Yes, says Renee Simmons. Yes, Marcia. So look, this audience is so loving. You all are so good. So good. Laverne Tucker, please send us an email. She says no glass. It's all good. We were going to give it to you. Send us an email, engage@thedailyhour.com. You are getting the first towel. These towels this year are awesome too, recognizing Emancipation Day and Mary Prince Day. So send us an email to engage@thedailyhour.com for your towel. Folks, again, if you haven't signed up for the restaurant crawl, make sure you do it. So it's time for the day. I have to give you a quote, right? I can't just leave because don't Sherry and the crew, they give you a quote every day, right? And if I don't do that, then you're going to not have a good day. So it's time for the Daily Inspiration, brought to you by ER Fisheries and Foods. Make sure you go check them out, www.erfisheries.bm, or visit them at 134 Marginal Wharf in Southside St. David's. It's barbecue season, folks. Get all your needs for the grill at ER Fisheries. All right, here is your Daily Inspiration, brought to you by them. The success of every woman should be the inspiration to another. We should raise each other up. Make sure you're very courageous. Be strong, be extremely kind, and above all, be humble. And that was from Serena Williams. That's your quote, daily inspirational quote of the day. And folks, big week coming up, a lot more discussions. Tomorrow, we're going to discuss this tourism thing because I think they're getting funky with their numbers that they're reporting. So we're going to have that conversation. But folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we continue to do our part to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. I'm out. Peace.